What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's DLLS Cowboys podcast, the very latest from Cowboys OTAs yesterday, from the clickbait to the things you actually need to know. We got it all.
We got scoops.
On today's show, and it starts meow. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed or else, which is, of course, not a threat. We do have a big announcement today, and I believe we even extended our summer diehard sale for one day, for today. $36 for 1 year of being a diehard. You get it for $36. That includes a T-shirt of your choice from a merch store, which is badass. It's a $36 value all by itself, so it's basically a free year. I probably am not allowed to phrase it that way because it's $36. Okay, it's $36. Also, meet my Clarence stick. This is my Clarence stick. If he gets out of control on the show, not to hit him, just to hold up the quiet, please, and see if it works.
Do they have a paddle in your frat?
Did y'all hit each other like that, like dazed and confused? Whop.
Did you?
Like on school days?
No, they got little hooks, and then they just...
We're a non-hazing fraternity.
Good for you.
Non-hazing fraternity.
Cap.
That's a lie.
Doing better than everyone else. Also, we do have a big announcement today. Y'all want to go to Vegas with us or what?
Woo! Vegas! Let's go!
If you do, I would sign up to be a diehard first.
Yes.
So you can get 20% off when you go to alldlls.com, and we're going to Vegas.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. Mandalay Bay is where we're staying. Yeah. One of Pop Pop's favorites. You can see Pop Pop in Sin City.
You can see Pop Pop in all of his Pop Pop glory.
You can go to Club Pop Pop.
You can go to real life Club Pop Pop.
With Pop Pop. We'll be doing shows out there. We'll be doing pre and post game for the Monday night game against the Raiders, November 15th to the 18th. My birthday is actually the 16th. So we might be...
Oh, no.
What?
It's dangerous.
That's Popo Joe in Vegas.
32
Popo
in Vegas.
Joe in
you want to
Vegas.
party with me?
That's going to be...
Ooh, it's going to be dangerous.
That's going to be a good night.
It's going to be a good night. And one other cool thing, too, is, there's flight information that, like, on our website. You can go check that out right now if you live in Dallas and you want to fly through that. But there's also ways you can do it without flying. So if you're not even in Dallas, if you're in LA, if you're in England or anything, like, you can also still partake in this weekend with us without having to get a flight from Dallas. So there's a lot of cool options. I think you should check it out. It's going to be fun.
Let's get look at Sin City Cowboys. See y'all here. Yeah.
Oh, let's go, Sin City Cowboys.
They got by the way, they got White Castles in Vegas. So
I still have never been.
Right there on the strip. You can walk right down there.
I will not be eating White Castle.
I will.
Well, I mean, unless there's like a Wendy's. I'll get the Wendy's over the White Castle. But White Castle.
You don't go to Vegas for trash burgers.
There's a Taco Bell cantina on the strip.
You don't go to Vegas for Taco Bell.
Cantina?
I'll be at Emmett's. I'm going to Emmett's.
Boozy Baja Blast? Come on.
All right, we got some Dak clickbait to get knocked out of the way first, and then we'll get into the actual things from OTAs. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff. Next to me is former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Next to him, and Dro Knows has a question for Clarence. Pop Pop hungover. What's with the shades? It's Clarence Hill.
You want to win? Win Pop Pop. What's up, fellas? How you doing? Appreciate everybody joining the show today. Tony Cleveland, I saw you last night. You said you was going diehard. Shout out to Tony Cleveland.
We had a bunch of people signed to be a diehard since yesterday morning. Chase, Patricia, Daniel, John, Matthew, Tanner, Jonathan, Christopher, William, Kendra, Derek, Scott, William, different William, Todd, Les, Danny, Jacob, Deborah, Max, Nicholas, Tyler, Corey, Frederick, Todd.
I think Bobby missed an opportunity when he sent us this list because there was Kendra, Derek, Scott. It could have just been Kendra Scott.
It could have been Kendra Scott.
Could have been Kendra Scott.
And that would have, yeah.
Bobby, you ruined it.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Brenda Letitia.
Oh, we will definitely be doing videos of Pop Pop in Vegas, by the way. We might do Pop Pop Cam. Like just a camera following Pop Pop for one night.
Can we get him a GoPro and just have it on his forehead the whole trip?
Popo
I'm
or
low-
Popo in the GoPro.
Yeah,
what
Popo
happened-
with the GoPro on the pop.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Why would you want to video things you do in Vegas? Why would you want to do
Oh,
that?
like the metas or
No,
whatever.
yeah, the medical like glasses. Yeah, that record.
Did I say next to Clarence is the new greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Joe Hoyt?
Tell him something, Joe.
Clarence is the greatest. Joe is following in the footsteps and working toward. But you know how it works in this industry. He's trying to pull you down.
I would never.
He's trying to get you.
I thought you asked two fantastic questions yesterday.
Man, it was just fuck. You did-
I would never ever pull you down.
So
I
I
would
heard
lift you
that-
up.
Speaking of yesterday,
I heard Dak Prescott is a developmental quarterback, and that made me giggle. I saw some headlines, so I'm looking forward to following Dak's development over the next decade and seeing what kind of player he can become.
Yeah, I wrote about this yesterday. I think, and you talked about it too, Clarence, that Brian Schottenheimer learned an important lesson that he speaks very thoroughly. He speaks very candidly. He's a great interview.
People don't care.
But people will
Seven words.
The aggregators sometimes will just grab little quotes and run with it. And one thing he did say when asked specifically about Joe Milton's development is he said, you know what? All the quarterbacks in a room are developmental quarterbacks, even Dak Prescott, as crazy as that sounds, because he's still developing. One thing, don't get this twisted. There are different developments for all three of these guys right now. Dak Prescott's developmental phase is up here, and Joe Milton's is down here, and that's fine. Joe Milton, I wrote a story about this on All DLLS. Joe Milton right now is learning concepts before formations. They're trying to kind of slowly integrate him in there, and I thought he looked very sharp yesterday, actually. He took a big step from his first OTA practice to his second. But don't fall for what national aggregators might use without context, guys. Follow me, Clarence, Jesse, Jeff, as we give you actual insight from local people who understand what's going on. Dak is not a developmental quarterback.
yeah, and I've said this many times. Be careful where you get your information from. Come to local sources. Certainly come to DLS to get your real Cowboys information. But Schottenheimer was asked specifically by Calvin Watkins of Dallas Morning News. Dumb question, okay? I'm sorry.
Damn.
Why are you throwing Calvin under the bus like that?
question.
He was specifically asked, is Joe Milton a former 7th-round pick who was traded for a 7th-round pick?
7th.
Huh?
6th-round pick, then he was traded for a 7th.
Okay. Low-round pick, third-day pick, who was traded for a 7th-round pick to come here and possibly replace Cooper Rush. Is he a developmental quarterback? A guy who's never...
And you think that's a bad question?
To ask me if... I think the answer is in the question. I mean, the answer is in the question.
Yeah,
right?
it is. He's a developmental
he's
quarterback.
And was that the first question asked? Because I know Calvin has earned the right to have the first question at every press.
I mean,
It was his
he's
follow-up.
become good enough in this business that now he gets
He gets the first question.
the first question out of David Morris out of there.
So he was asked about Joe Milton being and this was Shotty's quote. I just want to read the whole quote. I think they all are when asked about Joe Milton being a developmental quarterback. I think Dak is in the developmental phase. That sounds crazy for a guy who's played so much and also got paid so much. There are things that we're tweaking with Dak, which is why I followed up with the question on the cadence.
Fantastic question.
Yeah.
Another dumb question. No.
And that was a good question.
That's
I don't think it's just Joe. Joe is a guy we obviously know about the talent, but the system he came from in Tennessee created some challenges. That damn college system where you just clap, but you don't really play quarterback. Now I lost my thing because I hit this thing. Anyway, yes, the system created some challenges. The minute these quarterbacks think they figured it all out, that's when it's probably time for them to do something different. That means you should always be learning, lifelong learner, no matter what phase you are. The way defenses attack in this league, it makes it almost impossible to relax. So I remember Tony Romo, late in his career, he tries to tweak things in all seasons. You should always be trying to get better. So that's all he was saying. He was being very generic about trying to get better, and these clickbait aggregators took it. Ooh, Dak Prescott is a developmental quarterback, the $60 million man who only has 2 playoff wins is a developmental quarterback. That's not what he meant.
No. That's what happens in June and July.
Yeah.
Late in May.
And it's the Cowboys. That's what you do. You're trying to get people to come to your site, trying to get content, trying to get integration, people to engagement is what I'm saying. What you're trying to get engagement, and people do that sort of thing.
I enjoy it. I like to wake up, hop on the internet, and see people just firing off recklessly. Cowboys new coach says Dak Prescott, developmental quarterback. We got a whole competition on our hands now. Joe Milton and Will Greer versus Dak. Who's going to earn this job? You know what I'm saying?
I just wake up, and the first thing I do after I kind of have
check
a moment,
Clarence's
I do
Twitter.
check Clarence. I do. I
got
have
it.
a quick moment with the Lord,
Yep.
and I go and I check Clarence's
Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm where's the fight starting at?
Just to see what
I'm
we're
just
getting
gonna,
into today.
I'm gonna see where do we need to go, how to keep up with this thing. I go right to your.
You know,
You're my source.
I appreciate that. I have fun. I Twitter sport for me. It's my entertainment. I'm not mad. I'm watching games.
If you keep saying that
I'm
enough,
on
you're
dates.
gonna start believing it.
I'm tweeting.
If you just keep saying you're not mad and you're not arguing, eventually we're all
Well,
going to
no,
believe it.
I'm debating. I'm having conversation, but I'm not mad.
I think we
got
can
it.
You know what I'm
make.
saying?
I understand.
I think we can make
I
it-
understand that part.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do
not
understand
mad.
that part.
Well, you know, I'm not angry. I'm not mad at anybody. But I think it's interesting.
Better be
It better be interesting. Just piggybacking on the Joe Milton thing, because he said he came here to learn from Dak Prescott.
Mhm.
But he also offered a couple of other things that I want Joe to elaborate on. Just his insight on his development and his girlfriend. And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Kind of a wild thing that because at Tennessee they didn't
Better be
do.
wild.
It was a very pretty simplistic offense at Tennessee. People have kind of talked about that too. Receivers coming out of Tennessee, Ole Miss, some of those places, they have to have a learning curve in terms of adjustments. So one thing that Joe Milton started doing before the draft was he got a bunch of poker chips out there and he labeled them with all the positions and he put a white piece of tape down there, and then his girlfriend will have the playbook and she'll say a play and then he'll repeat it and he'll run with the poker chips to try and learn the offense every time he's at a new place. He did it in the NFL draft, he did it in New England. And here's the interesting thing about it, better be interesting. Hasn't started that yet in Dallas. And that's kind of, I think, a sign of where he's at developmentally right now in Dallas. They haven't started doing that yet because right now they're strictly doing concepts with him. Like when he's going out there, things are very vanilla right now in OTAs, right? It's very, hey, run play action. We're going to have a flood concept over here. Hit that guy. Like it's very simplistic right now for Joe Milton. So that's why I think when you're talking about development with him, he's starting on ground zero right now. He's moving on up. And I still think he showed some stuff yesterday that was pretty impressive, but there's still a lot to learn. He has not brought the poker chips out yet. After OTAs is when he's going to start doing that and really start to kind of hammer home the entire playbook. But right now it's very simplistic with Joe Milton. So that's when I say don't get it twisted. There is one developmental quarterback on this team right now, and that is Joe Milton. And there's a lot to like
Don't you
in terms
take that away from Will Greer? I got a lot of hope for him as he develops.
do you?
And just
No.
to kind of add a little bit of more layer to what Joe was saying, for those, I guess, football novice, when you hear concepts,
This
right?
is
Like,
great because I was going to say, hey, Jesse.
oh, were you early?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what
So-
is concepts without formation?
So when you look at that, you have like these route combinations and these route concepts. When you hear about like you're flooding, you're adding a lot of guys into a certain route on one side of the field.
Mike McCarthy, all curls.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no,
that's
he's slants and
Jason
and flats.
Garrett
Yeah.
is all curls, all hitches, and so in concepts, you really kind of, if you split the field down the middle, that you'll have this group on this side running a certain concept and this group on that side. Sometimes you have called mirror routes, where there's the same routes on both sides. And so you're just kind of putting into your mind, all right, this is the concept. And so when you add that into the play, for example, we call a smash route, right? A smash route is a simple route where you have inside route has a corner, outside route has some sort of stop route between 5 and 8 yards to hold that corner. And then the quarterback reads the corner. The cornerback bites up on that stop route. I throw the corner behind him. If the cornerback fades back, I throw the ball outside to the stop route. So those are the concepts that they're talking about, him learning those, and then now those conceptual words get added to that very long play where you're hearing formation, protection, cadence, if there's any motions, and then whatever the concept is in that. And every there's concepts in every offense. How you get to them is whether it's a number system or naming system. All those things are different in each system.
And because if you know, like once you are dialed in on the very basic of like, this is the concept that is happening when I hear these words, once you look over, it doesn't matter what the formation is. Like you learn it later. Obviously you want to know what it is, but if you've got two receivers over there and you know the concept, cool. If it's a tight end and a receiver, it's just coming from here instead of here, but
Right.
you got it. So that's fun stuff. I think it's just fun stuff.
And it helps you with your reads as well. It helps you kind of know where am I at in my progression in this concept, depending on what the defense gives me. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, cover 1. Is the blitz coming? Is the blitz not coming? All those different things in there. So
One Joe Milton highlight from yesterday too, just in terms of I
Do
think
that thing 85 yards.
he can throw it 85 yards, but he also can throw it. I think one thing he's trying to figure out right now as he develops is the difference between touch in throwing hard to intermediate routes. And that's a really tough thing. He's talked about it before. But one thing he had yesterday, there was a pop pass he had to Princeton Fan over the middle, and he threw that thing so hard that and it worked out. Fan caught it. It was a touchdown ultimately, but the linebacker was so slow, couldn't believe how fast it got it there. I forget which. It might have been Damone Clark, but
hey,
I forgot who. No, literally, it was against the twos.
Easy.
I'm like,
What? It was against the twos. It was a
No,
weak
my poor guy
sideline.
Damone just been a punching bag for a couple years. I'm trying to let
Sorry,
him make
I don't
it.
know for sure who it was, but we can't film video.
so Duron Clark was so slow at reacting. Is what you said? Shocking.
Hey, man.
I actually, now I feel bad. I don't know if it was Damone Clark or not. Now I feel guilty. That's bad reporting. I'm sorry. But anyways, he
Damn,
threw
Buddy Johnson.
Reason why they
It might
brought
have been Buddy. It could have been anyone with the two linebackers. So it could have been Buddy Johnson, Maris Liufau, Damone Clark. Could have been any of those guys. But Joe Milton threw it so hard that they had not enough time to react. Easy pop pass, team touchdown.
It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. And coming up next, the guy who I think his growth is the most important. And I have been very questioning about if it's going to happen. I have reasons to believe. Next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Our friends at Mando get you right. And, it's all about smelling good as a man. And not just any old smelling good. You want to smell like an interesting man.
What?
You don't want to smell like a fruity man. You want to smell like an interesting man.
I mean, I like fruit.
Yeah, I like fruit too, but I don't want to smell like a perfume. I want
Yeah.
to smell like a man.
Yeah.
When you see me, I want you to think man.
Many leather-bound books. you know?
Leather-bound books, like some oak.
See what I'm saying? They have some of the options like bourbon leather,
Oh, yes.
Clover Woods,
Oh, let's go.
Mount Fiji,
Oh.
and Pro Sports. I mean, this takes care of all the things that you need. All the sprays, all the deodorants. That's what Mando is. It is a body deodorant for men. And if you don't know what to choose, go with the starter pack. And if you use the promo code DLLS, go to Mando.com. You get $5 off a starter pack. They got deodorants, lotions, everything that you need to smell like a man.
Shout out to our friends at Monarch Money as well. I can tell you that I have had a tough time tracking where my dollars go sometimes, okay? I've got some financial blind spots, if you will, and so it's very helpful to have somebody to help you out with that. Your finances, they can be messy and confusing. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO. They give you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. I overspend on certain things. It's none of your business what those things are, okay? I'm trying to get it together, and it helps a lot to be able to manage my finances to help build the life that I actually want. If you don't have a clear financial picture, your financial dreams can feel out of reach. Monarch Money makes managing money simple, even if you have a busy life. All your accounts, credit cards, investments, all in one place. You'll always know where your money stands without the hassle. You can track your spending, savings, investments, all of that effortlessly. So you can focus on what matters the most, making your biggest life goals a reality. MonarchMoney.com. Use the promo code DLLS for 50% off your first year. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and one of the guys that I've talked about the most this offseason and throughout last season, because what he does is important, or should be important, or will be, or could be, or Tyler Guyton's got to be good, or Tyler Guyton's got to be better than he was a year ago. And there's a couple of things, and you guys can take me through the things that Tyler Guyton said at OTAs, and then I will take you through why the biggest doubter might be kind of a believer. But Tyler Guyton OTAs, what we heard from him yesterday, and then I'm going to tell you how your boy's jumping on board. I'm getting on the train.
Yeah, I think Tyler Guyton yesterday was very deliberate with his responses, and I think he kind of knew some of the questions that were coming. The one thing he kept talking about was like, hey, I know this challenge ahead of me. And Brian Schottenheimer said yesterday, like, his success, this is a huge year for him and for us as a team, and you can't pair them any differently, because the team success, I believe, and Schottenheimer, I think, kind of alluded to this, is contingent on Tyler Guyton being successful. Tyler Guyton talked about how he's really prepared for this challenge, how he kind of walked away from last year, took a little step back and said, you know what, I clearly wasn't good enough. I struggled. How did I struggle? So he kind of looked at what Zach Martin did. He listened to the words of Tyron Smith, the retirement. And I think the one thing he kind of kept back to is I have to start treating every single day physically with my body a little bit different. And the two things he started doing was he started doing hour-long stretches every single night in his garage. And I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, that garage, and is that you got a fan in there or is it hot? And he's like, oh, it's hot as hell in there.
Yeah.
So, and he was wearing a sweatshirt that was drenched in sweat. So you can kind of see it like, okay, for sure he's got that work going. And the other thing he talked about was his diet. He said that he's got together with the nutritionist with the Cowboys. He started, watching a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff. And he realized I've got to do a complete change. He cut out fast food, he said. He started doing things in terms of cooking a little bit differently. He said in terms of fast food, that Newey Scruggs asked him, what did you give up that was tough? And he's like, man, Raising Cane's, that Caniac combo. He's like, that was tough. So,
I'll tell you now.
But he had pain in his eyes.
If he just said like some Wendy's spicy nugs, I'd be like, yeah.
But he had pain in his eyes when he was like, oh man.
Okay.
Raising Cane's is nasty.
That's
don't
not
say they
true.
could be a sponsor.
I'm sorry.
We love all
I'm sorry.
chicken.
They could
We
be
love
a
all
sponsor.
chicken.
Clarence.
Damn it. One thing I do want to I want to add to that, Joe, is when we have the conversation, and I've been fortunate enough, and I'm thankful for it, is I get a chance to talk to the rookies every single year for like the last 7 years. And one of the things that you always hear the veteran guys talk about is learning how to be a professional. And that just doesn't mean practicing hard or playing hard or knowing your playbook. The part about becoming a professional is what you're talking about right there with Tyler Guyton. Understanding that, yes, I have to be a better football player, and I appreciate the accountability to stand in front of the camera and take accountability and say, I wasn't good enough. Now, does that mean that you're going to be better the next time around? We'll find out. We'll see.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But that's what becoming a professional means. And it takes some guys longer to do that. Now, if your skill level is really, really, really good and it can overcome the things that you don't do as learning how to become a professional, great.
Luka.
Well, if you're Luka and you can have a few beers and some hookah and still give a 60-point triple-double.
And get traded.
Hey,
Shouldn't have done that.
have at it, right? But it's when you don't play well, you really have to look at those professional things. So they're here now that the stretching part. And those are little things, and Jeff will hit on it, that are important, that you can kind of just like, well, I don't need to stretch tonight. We're going to stretch tomorrow in the stretch line.
Yeah.
Right? I can do that another day. Or eating right. Hey, I'm a lineman. I'm supposed to be fat. I'm supposed to that falls along the line of my, of my makeup, of just being big, having a little bit of a gut, right? Eating 19 chicken tenders from Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
But for him to say, you know what? There needs to be a change all around if I'm going to get out of this rut of being a bad left tackle and now trying to help this football team in my career.
Yeah, one quick other note on that too. I think, the words are words, but you can also see a difference physically in Tyler Guyton. I don't think this is recency bias. He looks different. He looks a little bit more in shape. I think he looks stronger. I think that this has been a good offseason for him, and that's one thing Brian Schottenheimer said. The other thing too, I asked Osa Odigizua, who probably on the team probably takes care of his body the best when you look at physically in terms of body fat, how jacked he is. Like Osa is a guy that knows how to do this. I asked
need
him,
to get some Raising Cane's, get him up to about 300.
Maybe.
Osa might need some Raising Cane's.
maybe. But I asked him just like how hard is it to kind of learn to be a pro, to your point? And he's like, in that first year, it's extremely hard because you know what's happening in the pre-draft process? You're training for 40-yard dashes and 3-cone drills, and it's a whirlwind, and you're doing team interviews. Then you get drafted. You're the guy. You move in your Airbnb right after you get drafted, and all of a sudden, bang, here you go, Tyler Guyton, you're the starting left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's not easy that first year to kind of get things going, especially for a guy who's got raw potential, not a finished product. So I think that there is some reason to kind of give a little bit of leeway getting into year two and a chance for Tyler Guyton.
I got 11% raised optimism on Tyler Guyton this year.
Where were you at yesterday? What percent?
Negative 113.
Oh,
wait, no, then now I'm definitely up higher than that because I'm not still at negative 100 and something. No, because I think that there are certain things that when you words are words in the offseason, everybody's in the best shape of their life. Everybody's going to be way better. Everybody looks great. Everybody's working super hard, right? You say all of those words, and I don't care because we're just saying words because it's the offseason and it's what we do. But, yeah, same thing. Like the shoddy culture, it all does sound great. And it sounds better than if everybody was like, I hate the new coach, but no one's ever going to say that. Like, we'll find out about that stuff. But when you're talking about tangible habits that become ingrained in your life, like you are doing the things that give the most successful people the reason they are the most successful. There are people who are blessed, DNA, mom, dad, God, whatever,
Right.
that like Des Bryant could take a football off of your head after a 32-ounce Dr. Pepper and a McDouble, no problem. Like,
I watched Des Bryant wake. I know this is quickly. I watched him wake up in the morning. He was my roommate. Wake up in the morning, handful of sugary gummy bears.
I just assumed that he didn't have the best dietary habits.
Handful of gummy bears, of gummy worms.
Yeah.
No breakfast.
That was breakfast.
No breakfast.
And go torch somebody.
Don't stretch. Get there 5 minutes before we're supposed to get things going. Don't even tie his cleats up completely.
Oh my gosh.
And say, hey, stand right here.
Yeah.
You can't guard me.
Yeah.
You can't guard me. Crazy.
Mom, dad, DNA, God.
Yeah.
Whichever one you like the most.
So when I get those snacks up here,
Yeah.
that's my breakfast.
No, you're not.
No, you're eating a bad breakfast.
But you're not Des.
You're not. You're
And
not.
you're not
physically
24.
gifted
I'm
enough.
just saying,
You're
though.
not physically
So we're not
gifted
supposed to eat those gummy bears
No,
for breakfast?
you're
I was just checking.
So to the Tyler Guyton point, I'm 41 now. I'm in my dirt year.
Let's go,
Old
baby.
age.
And like I'll try diet stuff and like I'm gonna eat better and I'm gonna do all these things and I find out that like that helps you in life. Like you feel better, you perform better if you exercise and you eat well and you take care of yourself. Like you will be better at everything. It happens. And yet, for the vast majority of us, and this includes pro athletes, you don't hit that consistency level of like if you tell me that in this case with Tyler Guyton, if his words are true, that he has hit where it's like, yes, I have 1 hour every evening where I do this, and this has all been removed from my diet, and this is what I do. When you are establishing those habits and those patterns, like that is what the most successful people do. And for a guy who already has big enough, strong enough, athletic enough, the questions about him I had as a rookie was I didn't think he was good enough to play as an NFL rookie. I thought he was going to have trouble, like just technically. In terms of watching him play college football, you went, ooh, that looks like a guy who hasn't played a ton of offensive line, and everything doesn't necessarily work together. So, like, those things are things he still has to fix. But to have hope that somebody is going to fix technical aspects of line play, having the physical gifts, when you tell me that in the other parts of his life, he has adopted habits that most of us probably never will until the doctor says, like, you're going to die. Stop eating cheeseburgers. Like,
God, that's my limit, too.
To hear that there aren't a lot of things that I could have heard about Tyler Guyton today or yesterday that would have given me hope that he was going to step out there and be a average or better left tackle.
Serviceable, what he said yesterday.
Serviceable.
That's fine.
Y'all wanted to be
serviceable.
That's still fine.
I would say this.
But those habits mean you are approaching life in the way that gives you the best chance.
You're not alone. And I know we got to go. Big.
We don't gotta go.
No, we don't. Good. Big Duke tweeted yesterday when he saw the interview with guys. That's what I'm talking about. He's also buying into what you're buying into about Tyler Guyton. And one thing that Tyler Guyton is a really nice guy. He's sincere.
Extremely.
If you talk to him, he's not a bad guy.
No.
You know, and he means what he wants to do well. If you ever talk to him, had a relationship with him, you know, you can see that in him. And Duke, you know, we've had conversations on here about Duke, him not working with Duke and some of the things that Duke actually tweeted about him, which Dad got mad about. But Duke was on Twitter yesterday talking about Tyler Guyton or responding to some tweets about Tyler Guyton after the interview and responding favorably, positively. They're talking about what Clayton Adams is doing for him. And
Connor Riley from a tech.
Connor Riley and things, how they are helping him get better. So good for Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, see, I've been really getting dialed in lately, and so last night I ordered tacos that hit my front door at about 12:30. Right after midnight, I got some
Dialed
tacos
into
and some
what?
chips and queso and a Dr. Pepper.
Dialed into what?
Well, I've been getting dialed in to waking up early, getting your exercise in, getting outside,
Yeah, a little step, but
clearing the mind.
you got a little bit of a.
It's a relapse.
So I'm saying is Tyler, you don't DoorDash the tacos on your way back from volleyball at midnight.
No.
You know, stay
But you get a
dialed.
pass. It was birthday night for you. You get a
Yeah,
pass.
yeah.
You get a pass. Just
See,
you can't have too many of those.
No.
You get a pass. I will say this.
What's your excuse? I thought you said you don't involve yourself in stuff that's meaningless. Now you bring it
No,
back up.
I'm
He
bringing
just asked, and then you got defensive.
because asking is the BS. Okay?
No, we all thought it. I literally was
Well,
driving.
because you-
Chat thought it too.
I literally was driving. I was like,
Just
oh my
because you thought
God.
it don't mean it's legitimate.
That's why I
It's
acted.
legit. But my point is this: I try not to wear Texas gear out to the Cowboys because too many Sooners get offended.
Yeah.
You know,
How many Sooners they got?
CD,
CD, Tyler Guyton,
and Kenneth Murray.
and Kenneth Murray. Yeah.
So they all had something to say about my shirt.
Yeah, but you and Overshown could fight them.
They had something to say about it because they still offended. They had something to say about my shirt, you know, because Guyton, you talked to him after the walk off in the, gave him the worst thing is touching a sweaty jersey.
Oh, he was in here. He had sweat.
I gave him a dap.
You don't gotta touch him.
his jersey. I'm a touchy-feely guy.
Yeah, and you got to.
Anyway,
That was a hit.
so I wiped my hand on Tad.
I saw that.
That's the PR guy.
I wiped that sweat on Tad. Anyway, guy was like, "Man, you got the Texas shirt on." I said, "Your dad's girlfriend went to Texas." He said, "How you know? I went to school with her."
Okay.
Dirty Mac.
Yeah.
Your dad's girlfriend went to
Dirty
Texas.
Mac.
She along. He's from Austin. I know it. I hung out in Vegas with his dad last year. I'm just saying.
And this year you can go to Vegas with Clarence when you
I
go to
know.
our event.
It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Thanks for being here. Coming up next, DaRon Bland still lined up in a different spot. And where's another guy that plays corner? What's he up to? We've got all the things for you. It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
And just like your favorite team, you want the home field or court advantage. And the best way to get that is to go head on over to EmpireToday.com and get yourself some new flooring. You don't want to step in there and your flooring is all rickety and raggedy. And sometimes the smell, when you walk into someone's house and
funky.
the smell is in the floor.
That's bad.
It's in the carpet.
Yeah.
You don't want that for yourself. You want people to walk into your crib and think, wow, look how clean and tidy and neat this person is. That you need to head over to EmpireToday.com, use the promo code DLLS, and get some new flooring. They're giving you $350 off when you do it. And don't go to the big box stores because people there, they work in many different sections. They're not experts in it. You don't get the right measurements. You don't get the right floor. The matching isn't there. You want to go to the flooring experts. That's Empire. They are the people that you need to go to. That is what they specifically deal with. Laminate, vinyl, tile, wood, and even carpet, if that's still your thing. EmpireToday.com, $350 off if you choose the promo code DLLS.
All right. Shout out to our friends at Rugged Road as well. Yesterday, I don't know if GM Ben was watching. I asked if I could take the cooler home. I didn't do it. But Rugged Road is the finest cooler in all the land. I tell you what, this looks pretty darn hefty, don't it? And it is. It's quite durable and dependable.
Hey, will it float?
It will float, and it'll float upright.
We need to go to San Marcos.
I'm a frail man. I am a thin and frail man. That's pretty lightweight.
That is.
Especially for the oomph it's bringing to the party. We love our Rugged Road coolers.
DLS trip to float the river.
We'll float the river. I'll float the
100%.
river. I'll fill this sucker up with nothing but H2O because I'm a real healthy guy.
Nice.
There'd be some Miller and some Fireball and some White Claw in there. Probably.
Fruit in there. Got to have fruit in there, too.
Yes, and some fruit. But lightweight design.
That's soaked in liquor.
Durability, dependability, versatility, floatability. You're staring at it, baby. Look at this Rugged Road. Look at it. RuggedRoad.com. You use the promo code DLLS. You get 10% off. All right. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and I have a cooler in my lap.
Stuck with the cooler.
Oh, I can use this for my birthday?
Wow.
And it's so lightweight, it'll be easy to get to the car.
Hey, does it got wheels?
I don't know.
Best one got to roll. You got to have them roll.
Nope.
No, you carry that
But
thing.
I can hear stuff in
carry
here,
that
which
thing,
means that
though.
Luds has been using it for the Stars show. I bet there's a bunch of whiskey and beer in this.
100% there is.
Need wheels on them coolers.
We've got the very latest on everything Cowboys OTAs for you here on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We got two beat writers that have been out there every time that the media is allowed out there. And I do want to talk about Duron Bland and the fact that apparently he's still lining up in the slot, and if we're leading to a fight with Duron Bland in the front office. But I also want to know about Trayvon Diggs because I heard you guys before the show talking about it and how he is doing his recovery stuff separate from the team. Which, if I know the Joneses, that gets them mad, and now you're a bad teammate, and then they're going to get rid of him, but they're probably going to do that anyway. But don't worry about that. So is he at OTAs?
No. First of
Trayvon
all,
Diggs is not in the building.
No. But we knew that. I mean, we've talked all week about him doing his separate little show and working out with his own people, rehabbing, the documentary.
No, I know that, but I didnn't realize he just is not in the building. He's not on the field with
Training in Miami, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, we knew
training
that he
and
wasn't
rehabbing in
training.
Miami.
we got to get it together.
Okay, first
people
of all,
need to be here.
See, and we broke on the show that he in the rehab department wasn't on seeing eye to eye, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did break that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The training staff doesn't think he does the best work, and he probably don't like them too much.
And
That's
Jerry
what I got with
and We ain't calling on that. And Jerry called him out this a couple of weeks ago about not taking care of rehab. Okay, so there's no question that he's not here, and he's doing his own rehab on his own, trying to prove it to himself.
But can't you do your rehab and still come out to work when people are getting ready
to work?
For the season?
He can't participate in nothing.
Well, like Overshown, like was out there, but he can't even do that stuff.
They don't have meetings or anything. Like they don't have anything he could be doing.
He's a cornerback. Go cover.
It's voluntary.
Go cover that guy over there.
Okay, we're playing press man every snap, huh?
It's voluntary.
You know, it's cornerback. Come on, go cover that guy over there, okay? But the bottom line is, he's not around. But considering the Diggs, if there's going to be some off-season issues with the Diggs and not being around,
okay,
at least he's not on a boat giving away pink baggies.
Allegedly.
I said pink baggies.
That's fine.
It's no alleged to the pink baggies.
No, it's just
you're
a pink
doing
bag.
great.
That's okay.
You're doing great.
You're on the right path.
Yep, you're doing great.
He's not giving away pink baggies on a boat
No, he's not.
with folks twerking.
I didn't see any twerking in that.
There was on that video specifically?
No, it was just 3 ladies calling him daddy. There's a video
Again,
of Stephon Diggs on a boat and with
There's
ladies.
several videos. You just saw one.
Yeah, I didn't go.
on
I didn't
the
go.
set.
I didn't go looking.
There's another one.
I didn't go looking.
There is another one.
Yeah, so
There's
when it
another
comes to balance of harms here,
Yes.
Diggs is taking care of business. He's rehabbing. He's trying to get right. He's just not here.
And where's he rehabbing? Did somebody say Miami?
Miami.
That boat. What city was it in? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Miami.
Probably in Miami. Okay, I'm just curious.
So, I mean, but we've talked about Diggs. But yeah, he's not here. But I don't think nobody's mad about Diggs. We're only mad because Micah's here. Ain't nobody tripping on Diggs. Shotty was not asked one question about Diggs not being here. And, you know, that's my point. We don't give the same energy to people who do things. We only give that energy to Micah or Dak or a certain guy. We don't get the same energy to other guys.
The quarterback will always get a different energy, right? It would always get a different energy. But I think the energy that it gets towards Micah, and this goes back to what I said earlier.
But Diggs been paid. You talked about.
I'm not talking about being paid. I'm talking about when you come out and you publicly proclaim that you want to be a leader. You publicly proclaim that this is now your team. Tank is gone, and you stand in front of the people and you tell us how much of a leader you want to be. And this is at times how we equate leadership, showing up, being a part of this. Now, I am one who have stood here and said this many a times. I applaud him not being here. Pay me, and I'll be here.
Yeah.
But that's why the energy is like that from Micah right now.
Team Micah.
I respectfully disagree because that energy was like that last year when Tank was here. You know, where's Micah? You know, it's been there. The reason why it's pronounced this year is because Jerry says, well, you get your money, you got to show up.
He said the same thing.
I think the energy was more last year than it was this year, to be honest with you.
They was trying to trade him last year. I mean, I'm just saying that there's attitude toward Micah for whatever he does. The podcast.
Who was trying to trade him last year?
That was one of the biggest offseason storylines that we can't pay Micah. We got to get rid of him because he does podcasts. Or people in the building don't like him.
No one seriously actually outside.
I'm just talking about okay. Yes. At the end of the day,
I think there are people in the building who'd be okay.
Right.
Not that matter.
But not that matter.
Not people that matter.
Yes, but
I'd say at least close to level of matter.
Okay, I'm just telling you that it was a big offseason storyline. I mean, I do this every day. Okay.
It's a daily
for
show.
30 years, okay?
Play the hits.
That's been a storyline. I mean,
what do I do every day?
But my point is
not for 30 years. Not for 30
but
years.
my point is to say that it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal. It was a huge deal last year. It was a firestorm last year, which Jeff is co-signing on tacitly because he's whispering it and not saying it with his chest. Say it with your chest, Jeff. Say it with your chest.
All of the members of Cowboy leadership don't all have the exact same brain. There are some who think that Micah Parsons is not worth whatever you think you have to deal with
Micah Parsons. And they got out publicly and it became a huge issue.
Correct.
Fan. That's all I'm saying.
And it doesn't mean it would ever happen.
It is not
or that a bunch of people feel that way.
But it became a huge issue with fans. That's all I'm saying. So that's out there. I'm saying we don't give other guys the same energy we give Micah for whatever reason. And their reasons, for sure.
Because if there's one thing I hate, it's a podcaster. That's why I don't like Micah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Let's knock out the super chats, which I apologize for not getting to you guys a little bit earlier, but we had some connectivity issues. And I had to make sure, we got to get to them.
He's teasing them. He's teasing them.
Well, I just want to let everybody know.
Oh, I see Captain Thunder in there.
Yeah, when Captain Thunder's in there, I got to get to him. KG was in the super chat early. I appreciate you.
KG! me.
The lunatic is in the super chat saying phrases I've added to my vocabulary. It better be funny / interesting. And I am not arguing. I am keeping it real. Stay blessed. Go Cowboys.
Lunatic.
Captain Thunder, water carrying Clarence, VP at Greedy PR, added again here. Yes, Clarence, you're very objective about Greedy Dak. At least Jesse's on my side.
I'm not. How do I get?
Jeff, why do you think Jesse's on your side in this?
On whose
Did I
side?
tweet that out?
No, why do you think that he's on your
you're
side?
saying I'm Captain
That's
Thunder.
Captain Thunder right there.
Oh, I gotta arrest you. I forgot.
Yeah.
Carrie, Freak Jesus in the super chat. Y'all, this is the year. With the least expectations, this is the year we go off. It's how it goes. Every year with high expectations, we fall hard. So in theory, we should fly high this year.
Fly
That's
high.
Right. That's right, Freak Jesus. Tom's in the super chat. We appreciate you. So is
Tell
John.
luck.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Am I being over analytical thinking that this season hinges on the left tackle / nose tackle play?
Not at all.
I see another 7-10 season coming. Talk me off the ledge. Nope.
Jump.
My guy
Jump.
Tyler Guyton went on a diet.
Jump. No, I'm playing.
My guy Tyler Guyton went on a diet. That's worth 3 wins.
What?
Yeah.
Like life wins.
No, I'm saying if he goes from can't play
It's serviceable.
to serviceable,
3 wins.
It changes things.
I don't hate that.
That
number.
changes things. 3 games, I'm joking, kind of tongue in cheek.
I'm not.
But good or decent to good left tackle play versus last year changes things.
I don't think 3's that crazy.
Getting back to initially where we started with Bland.
Yep.
Quarterback.
No, this was Bland.
No,
segment,
you're the quarterback. It was
I'm not trying to be the quarterback, but I just want to finish up because
No, it's a good job circling back because we brought up the corners. We never got to Bland. It's a good
we
circle back.
got the Bland because I started that scenario last week.
Yeah.
He was back in slot yesterday for most of his time. He did the individual drills in the slot, all that. He was back in the slot yesterday. I actually talked to Shotty in the walk-off about it, you know, and I tried to, get him by myself.
Good thing you went to the coach this time because you're going to get DaRon in trouble. You went to
I pretty
DaRon
much-
last time,
I
and he
said-
was like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about it."
I said, Coach, I know it's OTAs. Are you gonna say it was just OTAs? But DaRon said he, in the contract year, he don't really want to be playing the slot. He said, I understand. Wait till we get our guys out there. Wait till we get all our guys back, and then let's see what happens. I'm going to play the best guys. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
play the best. I'm going to play the best guys. He said, I'm going to play the best guys. And Revel,
Savon.
Chavon, was back in, who was one of the guys that everybody says is ready to go, is going to be ready to go.
Well,
He's
you-
got 20-minute conversation.
Beating this drum.
He was back in the rehab group yesterday.
Yeah, because
yes, because he's not ready.
even June.
Last week, Revel. Look at Revel's plan. He's doing individual
He was
drills.
walking around.
He was walking with a limp yesterday.
Oh, now you're hold on. No.
That's a record.
Now you are Recky Spector. You're
Oh,
pushing your agenda. There's no way.
Asthma shoulder. I talked to him about, can we watch? See, I stayed there. I tried to get Jerry. They mad at me, right? So everybody went in to get Tyler. So I'm staying watching practice.
Yeah.
And Jerry's out there, and I'm trying to get Jerry. I'm trying to get Jerry by myself because everybody's doing the group interviews with the players. And, and so he's out there by himself. And I talked to my shoulder. It looked like he got a little hitch in that giddy up still. As far as Revel is there. So I run over to go get Jerry.
You were looking for a Machota cosign on the limp? You were looking for somebody to agree with you?
I'm just watching and talking. I'm not talking to me. I'm a conversationalist.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to piggyback me, trying to get Jerry, because I was bird dogging Jerry.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to Jerry about Micah.
Yeah.
And not being here. And I ran over there because Jerry's walking back this building and I got to go to a meeting. I can't talk right now. And Shotty's like, and just Shotty watched me and said, that old man can still move, can't he? He can still move.
Run away from
you
him.
better catch him.
Mhm.
And of course, Tad, do I have to get somebody to follow you? Why are you running after Jerry?
PR
Say,
director.
Tad, mind your business.
Yeah.
Jerry can say no or yes.
Tag gonna snuff you out before the year.
Yeah, 100%.
Tad gonna get you.
Tag gonna snuff.
Mind your business.
Tad's a PR boss.
Jerry
He
knows
gonna get
how to say no.
Tag gonna hook off on
Tag
you
gonna
before
get-
the year over. Tag gonna you better watch it back around Tad. Tad may lay one right on.
Yeah, and we almost got
right
into
on
it
the
yesterday
chin.
because, Tad used to be in Cleveland. He's our age, my age, not your age.
I was
my
saying
age.
our age.
Put our age.
He tried to say that LeBron was the GOAT.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm telling you, come on. He wears,
Huh?
Don't do that.
no, exactly.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
I'm
sorry, I just wanted
no
to-
self-respecting man over 50, 55 should be saying LeBron's the GOAT. No self-respecting man.
Oh,
really
he is
no
old,
self-respect.
Yeah, old people generally like the old people.
Stop.
Like Bob Hayes, the greatest receiver of all time. What
I
were you
know.
saying, Joe?
You gonna do Bob like that?
One quick note on the Bland thing, though. He touched on it, but I think it should be noted. Like in individual drills, they were doing a drill where it was strictly just the 4 slot corners that they have out there. Izzy McQuamu, Keemon Hall, and Duron Bland. Even in that scenario, he wasn't with the outside corners. He was with the slot guys specifically doing individual drills.
Revel, Diggs, somebody better get ready.
I was going to say, right now.
No, wait, no. They're, yeah, wait, no. Yeah.
Well, you want to hear their
They don't
outside
have a
corners?
slot,
You want to hear
but
their
the problem in
You want to hear their outside corners available yesterday?
like, they
'Cause
don't have
Caitlin Carson-
outside corners. Put Bland out there.
I know Caitlin Carson wasn't working with team drills yesterday, so their outside corners yesterday were Kyrie Elam, Andrew Booth, Troy Pride, and Luke Barku. Those are.
Don't worry about it.
That is the 4 guys available yesterday.
How in
outside
their
corner.
mind does that mean Duron needs to go to the slot because we don't have somebody in the slot? You don't have
Exactly.
people out there.
Exactly.
I think they like Elam, and they think he's more of a outside guy, inside guy.
I do think they like.
Now
So
give
that's
me another
one. That's one.
Now give me another
And
one.
then we're gonna see what we got.
Uh-huh.
But
Why don't we see what we got in the slot and
let's
let
see what
Duron
we got.
Bland play his
Let's
position?
Let's see what we got this super chat. 'Cause that man,
Barrington!
we got $30, man. We got $30. Give me some Club Pop.
And we'll be in Vegas, baby, with Club Pop in November.
Join us, Barrington.
Join us.
And Barrington, I got a story on Die Hard right now from Kenneth Murray talking about stopping the run.
Well, hey, how about we just talk about that next on the
We can do
that.
DLLS Cowboys podcast
There you go.
and tell you about Vegas. Why don't y'all come to Vegas with us? I dare you. I dare you.
Mandalay Bay.
Sign up to be a diehard today. Our special carried over for one last day. This is the last day, and it's the exact same day that we announced that we are taking a DLLS road trip to Vegas for that game. We're going to do our pre- and post-game show out there. We're going to stay at the Mandalay Bay. You can sign up to be a part of it. We are going to have ourselves a time. So you sign up to be a diehard. You do that today, $36 instead of $80. That is today, and it ends. Then you get a discount on the road trip if you want to sign up for the road trip.
20% off.
And you don't have to go to Vegas. You don't have to.
But why not?
Facts.
Yeah, why not, though?
Facts. But you could just sign up to be a diehard because it's an amazing intro offer at $36 instead of $80. Get your free t-shirt when you sign up from our merch store, which is a value of $36. And then bang, enjoy the perks of being a diehard and knowing everything you could possibly want to know about all of your local DFW sports teams. One-stop shopping at alldlls.com. You get that. Then you get to come hang out in the Discord with us when you're a diehard. We got over 1,000 DFW diehards in there now. We're cooking.
I can't wait to see all the people in Vegas, and we can all I want to take a picture with all our carrying cards, all
that'd
the
be fire.
diehards. I want a group picture with us all holding.
I'm going to steal people's carrying cards.
Why?
I'm going to bring back my pickpocket days because I like them.
Pickpocket?
And I know I'm
were
going
you
to
a
lose.
good-
Oh,
were
boy,
you a
I
good
was
pickpocket?
I was a thief. I was a thief.
Wow.
I didn't pickpocket. I stole candy from gas stations and cigarettes from Food Line.
I did it once. Felt bad and brought the candy back.
Oh, no.
I was just like,
no.
That's a Popo Joe. That's just a Popo Joe thing to do.
Catholic guilt.
Yeah. See, I didn't have any of that pulling at me. I was a heathen pagan boy, you know.
It's just the one on the shoulder.
Pagan joy instead of Catholic guilt.
It was the one little thing on his shoulder, steal it, take it.
Yeah, and I look this way and there's nothing there. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah,
The angels over there tied up
sign up to be a diehard. Then sign up and come to Vegas with us. We're gonna have ourselves a fun time. AllDLLS.com. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, one final segment of the broadcast day, and there are a couple things we have not gotten to, including, as Clarence said before we went to the break, and as Barrington welcomed into Club Pop with his super chat, how in the world are we going to stop this run? And that leads us to Kenneth Murray at linebacker, his words, and then probably I want to kick around some other things with what they're doing at linebacker.
Yeah, and before we get to linebacker, it's a quick aside. I just want to bring this up. I think it's a note. George Pickens, is come in and is really trying to assimilate. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to bond with the guys. And Shotty again talked about how he's fitting in and doing the right things and the culture and stuff like that. A couple of things yesterday that just jumped out. CD dropped a perfect bomb from Dak Prescott. I'm talking about
CD's not looking good
I
this year.
mean, my boy Dak aired that thing out. Okay,
Put Tolbert in.
It was right here in stride.
I mean,
and it was just one of those.
down the field. CD
bingo.
dropped it.
Tolbert caught it.
So CD did some push-ups. and Pickens did push-ups with him.
Like that's a teammate.
Okay?
That's culture.
That's a good thing for a teammate to do. When coaches used to make us do that, I'll fight the teammate that dropped the ball.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, no way I am doing push-ups because of you.
You got to run.
Yeah.
But that just shows you
Usually
he's trying. And that's how I talked last week. The dude is trying to be coachable. I mean, all the stuff, we can say what you want about Pittsburgh, and you can't take Pittsburgh off his ledger.
No.
But you can say the guy is trying.
That's great.
You know, the way he answers questions at the press conference, he's proven to be a coachable player. He's showing an interest. And one other thing, just to piggyback on that, him trying and trying to turn a different page or show a new leaf or whatever you want to call it. During the interview period yesterday, when everybody was talking, Dak, one the great thing about Dak sits in the locker room. And so we're talking, it's not Dak's day to talk, he talked last week, but we're talking college football, we're talking NBA, talking life. Pickens right next to him. And so all the reporters are coming up, he got a smile on his face. I don't know, because the stories in Pittsburgh, he was awful with the media, right?
Yeah. We're undefeated in Dallas, though, right now.
Smile on his face, talking about Hoover. He was from Hoover, Alabama, went to Hoover, talking about his recruitment. I talked to him about why he went to Georgia over Alabama, and he said one of his boys died. He wanted to get out of Birmingham. You know, obviously Kirby Smart was like it was first year recruiting him and followed him. And just talking, we were talking football, basketball, just different things about life. But he was trying, you know, and so I think that should not go unnoticed. Yeah. As we point out podcasts, we point out all this other stuff that guys do. This is some of the things we should, being positive guys.
I hate podcasts.
Being positive here, but this is something that should be noted. And again, he's trying. And so that's how we can go. I can't judge him by what he did in Pittsburgh. I can only judge him by what he does here.
No, you can judge him by what he did in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Also, did you see yesterday what?
I can't judge him as a personal relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I can only do how he interacts with us.
I can't judge him anyway.
That's right.
Only God can judge.
I thought it was interesting, too, and it better be interesting. A report came out from Fox Sports yesterday that the Steelers are eagerly looking for a second weapon next to DK Metcalf.
Well, that is pretty damning of Pickens.
I thought
he just traded one away.
Yeah, no, but
no, it's just about the money too.
That's true.
They traded Pickens away, then traded for a guy, gave him Pickens money, then traded Pickens away, and now we're in the market for a receiver
because they knew they weren't going to pay Pickens. So I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's the whole point.
They brought in a guy who plays just like him that's older.
But I guarantee the guy they replace him with ain't going to be getting no money.
Yeah,
no, the guy they replaced him with is DK Metcalf, and they paid him.
No, but the second, you guys are right, and he's saying that like whoever they're going to get for the second guy is going to 1 year.
Right, they're not going to bring in
once
another
they paid DK, they had to get rid of Pickens. That's what I'm saying.
But what Jeff is saying is, you had to bring in DK. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what was it about you that made them say to themselves,
they chose to give that money to an older version of you?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no doubt. But I'm just saying that after they got DK and they was talking about him working with Pickens, and then they said we move it because they knew that Pickens wanted to get paid and they weren't going to pay Pickens, so let's try to get something for him. And now let's go get a guy to replace because we still need help at receiver. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You're right. There's a reason why they got rid of him. Yeah. There's a reason why they replaced him with DK. But at the end of the day, while they're looking for another receiver, because the guy they signed ain't going to get paid.
Pickens is going to have his Kyrie Irving run.
He might.
That's what's going to happen. You're going to trade for him, and you're going to be like, that guy? Like, he's done some weird stuff, crazy. Whoa,
I brought that up right when they traded for him. I was like, there could be some similarities there. One other note about GP before we move on to another part is that we had speculation that he might be in the locker room between Dak and Micah. Not right now. Right now, he's on the end of the locker room next to Terrence Steele.
He's on the end of the locker room, kind of where DeMarcus.
It was where DeMarcus Lawrence was, yeah.
But he was sitting next to Dak. So that means that's purposeful.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not sitting in my locker. I'm coming to sit.
Go hang out with my friend Dak.
Yeah, he's going to go hang out with Dak.
And so that's why it was notable. He was not sitting in his locker space. He was purposely moved to bond with Dak during this period. So that's cool. Getting back to the run defense, and obviously it's platitudes. That's one thing that we talk about this team and all the moves they made. What have they done to fix the defense? What have they done to stop the run? Something I've talked about. We talked about Mazin, and we talked about
Jay Toyer getting runs with the ones, baby. Jay Toyer getting some runs with the ones.
We also talked about, Kenneth Murray can't play. Well, Shamar Stewart's going to replace him.
Again, a total misrepresentation of what we said.
Shamar James going to replace him.
No one ever said that.
No.
And Jack Sundberg, like that guy with with that forehead.
He's starting right now.
Nose.
He's starting.
He is starting.
Murray is the green dot.
Okay. That's what Murray said.
That's what we're going on. Because Sandberg didn't say that. So
Murray's
the green dot, and for a guy that over Sanborn who knows the defense.
Ooh.
Okay, and Murray told me he's been to Green Dot. Like he was Green Dot in Tennessee. He was Green Dot with the Chargers.
Eric Kendricks was the Green Dot with the Chargers.
No, Eric Kendricks was it 1 year or 2 years? I'm just saying what the man said. Anyway, the bottom line is
I don't want him to have the Green Dot.
he's the Green Dot. He's comfortable putting people in place, but also he's comfortable in the defense. He likes Eberflus's scheme and how linebackers can thrive. Weak side linebackers can thrive in this scheme. And he said, I take stop and run personally. That's something that Eberflus has emphasized stop and run.
If he takes it personally, it's time to start taking personally where you're supposed to be when they run the ball.
Well,
because that's been his challenge for 5 years.
They have a huge emphasis on stopping the run, and they're taking it personally, and they're going to do it with scheme. They're going to do it with fit. They're going to do it with 11 guys running the ball. But, yes, their primary focus is stopping the run. And he was brought in as insurance for Overshawn. Overshawn talked yesterday as well, and I know we're going to talk about linebackers. He probably won't be back until Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is what he's targeted is. But he's saying that even the training staff right now is holding him back. He's like, I want to go. And they're like, hey, man, chill out.
Just the transcript of the things he said kind of cracked me up. Because at first he's saying no, I feel like I'm ready to go.
No, he thinks he can play today.
And he was like, and so I got to jog today. I'm like, hold on now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why you
just started jogging.
That's why you got to take that rehab stuff with a grain of salt, which is all I've ever been saying.
I feel like I'm ready.
You got to find out. Yes, and he said, but he wants to be able to play with confidence and everything else. So we won't know. But Murray's here is insurance for him. He feels good, but he also didn't like my Texas shirt. But anyway, he feels good about the defense and the scheme, and we'll see. I know that it was emphasis under Mike Nolan, emphasis under Dan Quinn, emphasis under Mike Zimmer. They started out with a historically bad defense. So, we've heard these stories before about we're going to be focused on stopping the run in the offseason, and when the season comes, they can't stop a nosebleed.
Well, it's the best time of the year because I also saw that Osa said, I was looking at tape, and with what we're going to do this year, but last year I would have made so many more plays. And it's linebacker friendly, and it's going to get Kaiir Elam back on track. And it's better for Mozzie.
Yeah.
Woo!
And Mozzie,
the best defense.
I tried to talk to Mozzie. Didn't want to talk on camera, because the scheme under Quinn, we're going to get him rushing upfield because he can be able to sack the quarterback. And Zimmer's scheme, that's what I did in college. So I'm going to be back and do what I want. He said, I don't want to talk scheme. I just want to be better. I said,
honestly, I appreciate that.
I just want to be better. And they believe that Mozzie's going to be able to rush the passer in this scheme. I don't know. I don't think
I'm not going to do that.
That's one thing why I got in
We're not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
That's not the problem. We got good enough pass rushers. It's the thing that
you got to be girthy, thick. You got to be a big boy.
And that's the part where when you start talking about stopping the run, unless you're committing a crazy amount of numbers to the line of scrimmage to just, hey, we have more guys that you can actually block, so don't run to this front. A lot of it's just a player. A lot of it comes down to you being big enough, strong enough, fast enough to take on the blockers in front of you and hold up a gap.
Jimmy's and Joe's.
And that's the biggest thing about running. Stopping the run is a player-driven thing. Now, yes, you can commit more guys to the line of scrimmage, but if we're going base defense and we're not, and the Eberflus offense is not an offense that's an exotic offense, and have a lot of different things that are happening to it. Defense. It's not a defense. It's going to be very dependent upon the guy that is in the position to make the play. And that's been Mozzie's issue the whole time.
Yeah, that's what Murray talked about. You got to take it personal. It has to be something. You got to be person that agrees when somebody's running the ball down your throat. And that's what you need to do.
Yeah. One other quick note: Donovan Ezuraku was playing a lot with the ones yesterday, and he was doing a lot of off-ball stuff. He was dropping back in coverage at times, which I thought was a little bit interesting. I think one reason he's doing that, though, he's Micah Parsons right now. Yeah. I think he's playing Micah Parsons. I think you might see
I hate it even more.
Yeah, Micah Parsons.
You might see Micah Parsons
Don't ever drop back Micah Parsons.
Don't ever drop back Micah Parsons. Don't ever drop back.
I think that's what they might do is put him at off ball and kind of he would rotate back to the line of scrimmage a lot and then carry things in passing stuff sometimes.
I'll be booing during that
the
play.
one reason,
just
you know why he was playing with the ones?
Because Micah's not there.
Micah's in Spain.
Because Micah's in Spain. Hurry back, Micah. Come lead this team. Richard's in the super chat. Love Bob Hayes. I have his autograph. HB
Richard!
Jeff. I'm assuming that's happy birthday and not something mean. 1906 exec.
06!
I'm very concerned about Terrence Steele. He's been very bad the last 2 years, and no one is really exploring replacement. He has a contract, but he's killing us. What are we going to do? if he's not good this year, this will be his last year as a Cowboy. He's cuttable technically this year. If you
Yeah.
really wanted to, he's very cuttable next year. So if Terrence Steele is not good for this team, then you will explore replacing him. It will happen. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and seeing us. Why don't you go ahead and sign up to be a diehard today and then join us for our trip to Vegas. AllDLLS.com. Check out all the details.
Vegas!
Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Or else not threat.
We all silly like the mayor.